This is Stefan Schmidt for InsiderIowa.com. This week the breaking story is WikiLeaks, the international website that posts inside information that is given to them by people who have access to stuff that we really shouldn't know about. And as you know, the documents, 250,000 documents or something like that, this time were on State Department memos, emails, and messages that were sent by ambassadors and from embassies, and that contained some very revealing information about foreign leaders and international problems. This morning I got an email from a friend of mine who is the chief U.S. editor for the largest Spanish news agency, which is called EFE, and she asked me to comment on WikiLeaks, and her question was, is WikiLeaks something positive or is WikiLeaks something negative? And I thought about it for a while, and I sent her back a fairly long sort of response, and here's what I said. I said, like everything important in the world, there are some things about WikiLeaks that is very positive and important, and there are some things about WikiLeaks that is probably very negative. Positive is that in democratic countries, democracies, citizens and the public is supposed to know what is going on, how decisions are made, why things are happening. And there is a tendency by government to want secrecy. I mean, governments always want to keep more stuff secret than public. And so WikiLeaks, to some extent, is breaking open the areas of government that you and I and the public in general has not had a lot of access to. And we can see a lot of information there about how decisions are made, why they're made, what the thinking is. And I think, to some extent at least, both transparency, which is having us know what's going on, and accountability, which is having us know whether we approve of what's going on, are the two main hallmarks of democracy. So to that extent, WikiLeaks, in some sense, are a pretty important piece of democracy. They're like a newspaper, they're like a news agency. The negative side of it is that if information is released that is damaging, that can undermine U.S. national security, information that can, for example, cause, let's say, confidential sources for the U.S. government to be endangered or threatened, and information released that could undermine counterterrorism activities and national security. To that extent, the WikiLeaks are in fact negative. So there's a negative side, a positive side. The next release, I understand it, is that they have gotten access to a laptop with a huge amount of very confidential information about American banks. And if that information is released in the next WikiLeaks release, again, it could be positive in the sense that we may find out how banks actually do business, what they're thinking, what kinds of things they say to each other as they're making decisions with our money, and that could be very revealing and could help to make banking more transparent and maybe force more accountability on banking if there are things in those leaks that are disturbing, criminal, dangerous, illegal, and so on. On the other hand, those bank records, if they're released, could also compromise people's personal privacy, bank accounts, finances, identity, and so there could be some negative consequences of those releases as well. So as with everything good in life, there are good aspects and negative aspects to WikiLeaks, but they are a phenomenon that is part of the reality of the world today. Somebody has said that WikiLeaks should be classified as a terrorist organization. And I said to my friend at EFE, the Spanish news agency, that if that's the case, if WikiLeaks are a terrorist organization, then Fox News and CNN, National Public Radio, and even InsiderIowa.com is a terrorist organization, because very often, as you know, the news media reports on things that politicians or business people really wouldn't like the public to know about. But it is the responsibility of the news industry to give the public as much information as possible, so long as it doesn't have really damaging side effects. And I remember when WikiLeaks released a lot of information about the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, that there was a lot of concern that this was going to compromise those operations, that a lot of American allies and others were going to be hurt by that. And I haven't really seen anything afterwards that says that that is actually the case. I haven't seen very much information that says that it caused a lot of damage. So governments always want to say, no, this is going to cause a lot of damage, so we want to keep it secret. And it is the responsibility of the news media, to some extent at least, to say, well, we'll try to give people a lot of information without doing damage. And we all hope that WikiLeaks will not do a lot of damage, of course. And so those are the kind of mixed comments that I have, my mixed feelings, I guess, about WikiLeaks. And I think they're as accurate as you can get on that particular phenomenon. This is Stefan Schmidt for InsiderIowa.com.